U.S. House of Representatives delivers impeachment charge against Donald Trump. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the World News. I'm Daisy Leo Usagide. Edo State Police Command has commenced investigation into the kidnap of the Public Relations Officer of Nigerian Immigration Service, Edo State Command, Mrs. Bridget Eseni, on her way to church on Sunday. The Police Public Relations Officer, Edo State Command, SP Chidu Wambuzo, made this known while fielding questions from crime correspondent Wellington Akodaja.
Edo State Police image maker SP Chidi Nwambuzo, who expressed shock over the kidnap of his counterpart in the Immigration Service, Edo State Command, Mrs. Bridget Isene, said the victim was kidnapped at Agbo Road Axis in Ikweniro area, Benin City, on her way to church. SP Nwambuzo said the tactical team of the command is on top of the situation to rescue the victim and hurt.
The case of a kidnap of Officer Bridget Eseni of the Nigerian Immigration Service, immediately I responded by informing the command control room. Anti-kidnapping and cybercrime unit, they are seriously involved as we speak, doing bush combing to ensure the safety release on hot of this officer.
A visit to Edo State Command of Nigeria Immigration Service on Ikuba Hill, Benin City, showed that official activities were in full swing, although no official of the agency was willing to comment on the incident. Wellington Akodaja reporting.
A meeting between members of Miyetti-Ola Cattle Breeders Association, Southwest governors, and heads of security agencies has ended in Akure. The meeting followed the expiration of the 7-day ultimatum given by Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu to herders in the state to vacate forest reserves. Ondo State correspondent Jonah Omowa has details.
The meeting was convened to discuss ways to resolve the security challenges in Ondo State and Southwest zone of the country. Chairman Nigeria Governors Forum and Governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, Osun State Governor Boyega Oyetola, Governor of Jigawa State, Governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, National President of Miyetti-Ola Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, security chiefs, in their remarks, condemned criminality and agreed to work together to fish out those hiding under the guise of herdsmen to wreak havoc in the state and southwest.
I want us to ensure that we are able to resolve this amicably and then ensure we have a standing committee that we have in our state of both government, MAPAM that represent herdsmen on a large scale, and farmers. If you're able to do that, you'll be able to resolve most of these issues amicably.
Criminality in any form will not be condoned.
Ensure that we go after the criminals, all of us together.
Whoever is a criminal should be dealt with as a criminal.
Against all forms of criminality, because we don't represent criminals, we don't support criminals, we don't condone any form of criminality. MAPAN is a peaceful association. Night grazing must stop, whether in the south or northern part of the country. Media is partner in progress. The world is not waiting for our country. If we continue to cause agitation in our land, we compound our problems.
They're using our forest reserves as the area of coordination. So anybody who is there illegally has 7 days to vacate the place.
In a communique issued at the end of the meeting, Dr. Kayode Fayemi said it was resolved that criminality should attract punishment while security agencies should step up efforts to fight criminality. A standing committee comprising farmers, headers, officials of government to be set up to ensure synergy and result. It was also resolved to stop free-range grazing to avoid conflict between farmers and headers.
Meeting discussed vigorously and resolved that the security and welfare of the people of Nigeria is the primary purpose of government, as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria as amended. That the order of the Ondo State Governor was misconstrued and misrepresented by the media, and that he only ordered those occupying the forest reserve in Ondo State illegally to quit, not Fulani herdsmen to vacate the state.
It was also resolved at the meeting that night and underage grazing should be stopped. From Akure, the Ondo State capital, Jonah Omowa reporting.
Edo State Governor Mr. Godwin Obaseki has commended the visionary leadership of Apostle, Spirit and Life Family Bible Church and General Overseer, Godhead Prayer Ministry Worldwide, late Apostle Deborah Eunice Gordon Usagide. Governor Obaseki made the remark during the inauguration of the free school bus shuttle for school children in Edo State as part of the funeral activities held at Museum Ground of Balvarame Square, Benin City. Mamusa Ugiagwe has details.
But in my life, I'm very good at sharing my heart. When I see children walking the streets of Benin, I remember free bus rides. Bus rides for children.
That was the voice of the Apostle, Spirit and Life Family Bible Church and General Overseer, Godhead Prayer Ministry, late Apostle Deborah Eunice Gordon Osagede, during her 62nd birthday, where she brought to bear her passion for every Edo child to enjoy free transportation with shuttle buses to and from school by her ministry. 1 year later, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Barrister Osaudio Ugi, inaugurated 10 free school bus shuttle for school children.
Glory of God, Father,
In his remarks, Barrister Ugi, while condoling with the immediate family of late Apostle Eunice Gordon Osagede and the Christian community, described her death as a huge loss. He expressed delight that Spirit and Life Family Bible Church has risen to the challenge of bringing alive the vision bettered by the late apostle, who had passion and love and gave hope to the less privileged in the society.
News of the transition to glory of the spiritual leader of Spirit and Life, Godhead Prayer Ministry, Apostle Eunice Usagide, came to us as a rude shock. She passed on at a time when the state and the entire Christian community needed her most. We are deeply consoled by the fact that she lived a fulfilled life by turning many souls to Christ.
The Bishop, Spirit and Life Family Bible Church and Godhead Prayer Ministry, who is the eldest son of the late Apostle Bishop Gordon Ada Gordon Osagede Jr., gave an insight into the vision of his late mother to alleviate suffering of the school children in terms of transportation to school, an initiative he said was a heart cry of his compassionate mother.
This vision was conceived in the heart of Apostle Deborah Eunice Gordon Osagede when she remembered how admirable her school days were. Her father was a one-time commissioner of police, an active military governor, so she was escorted to and from school every day by a police officer who would assist her to class and back home when she closes. This great privilege she enjoyed as a child stuck deep in her heart and grew stronger by the day. She nursed this dream to provide free transportation in an executive shuttle bus for children.
The ceremony afforded those who have been under the tutorship of Apostle Gordon Osagede to give goodwill messages describing how she has been of immense contributions to their lives. The chairman, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Edo State, Dr. Margaret Agboinfo, eulogized her for her love and passion for humanity.
What we are witnessing today shows what Apostle Dr. Eunice Usagide lived for.
The chairman, Eunice Gordon Usagide School Shuttle Committee, Pastor Monday Igbenigi, and the in-law to the late apostle, Pastor Angela Igbenedion, said the church is glad to have carried on the legacies and vision of the general overseer, especially as it happens on her birthday.
We decided to choose today, which is supposed to be her birthday, to begin this coronation with her pet project. What she stands on, what she believes in.
Really want to appreciate God for this woman of God. Like they say that a vision, a good vision, outlive the vision.
The event featured various ministrations, song renditions by popular musician Naomi Ehige, African Gospel Choir, and recitation on the life of Apostle Eunice Gordon Usagide. The Apostle of Spirit and Life Family Bible Church and General Overseer, Apostle Deborah Eunice Gordon Usagide, died on 7th December 2020 after a brief illness at the age of 62. Ikmomosa Ugiagbe reporting.
The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 is in Edo State on a 5-day official visit to provide support to the State Response Committee on COVID-19. Leader of the team, Professor Ehimaru Igumbo, stated this while addressing journalists shortly after a closed-door meeting with the state governor, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, in Benin. Government House correspondent Patience Osalgiwa has details of this and briefing on COVID-19 by the State Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Samoyi Irowa.
Professor Himaru Igumbo said the task force will undertake supportive supervision of the state response to COVID-19, particularly on how to improve the testing rate across the state. He commended the state governor, Godwin Obaseki, for the provision of laboratory facilities and precautionary measures put in place to curb the spread of the virus, especially the decentralized testing strategy that the state has adopted.
We are very grateful to see the command that His Excellency has around the response and all that he's doing to support activities of the public health response. We just want to give reinforcement to that and communicate this even onwards to our colleagues in federal and in other states to take lead from such good feat that we are seeing in Edo State.
In a related development, the Permanent Secretary, Edo State Ministry of Health, Dr. Osamoyi Irowa, has attributed the high rate of COVID-19 infections in the state to community spread. Dr. Irowa, who lamented the high rate of the infection in the state, attributed it to community spread and not imported cases in the state. He said the disease has been put at 90%, adding that it is a great challenge to the state, noting that the only way to curb the virus is the observation of all the NCDC protocol.
Last weekend, one of the persons we lost was a health worker, which is actually quite painful because for the first time we were losing somebody who's a health worker from Edo State to COVID-19. In all, we have had 15 local government areas involved in this COVID-19 during this second wave. Most of the local government areas have reported cases as we speak. Our surveillance contact that we are following up, we have about 789 persons being followed up on contact, via contact tracing from across the 18 local government areas of the state.
Dr. Irowa stated that the state has 500 active cases. Patience Osalgiwa reporting.
Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal has concluded 4 pending petitions before it and adjourned to a later date for council to present their final written addresses. Western Bureau reports that the adjournment followed the close of the respondent's case in a petition filed by the Action Democratic Party and its candidate, Lucky Ibio Emmanuel, after 2 witnesses testified yesterday.
The first witness, Dr. Francis Omo, who is a welfare secretary of APC in Edo State, told the tribunal that he was relying on his statement on oath as evidence in the petition. He said in some paragraphs of his statement, he made reference to exhibits A7 and A8, which are the expression of interest and nomination forms of the third respondent, Governor Gordon Obaseki. He told the tribunal that Governor Obaseki submitted himself for APC governorship screening. Under cross-examination, the petitioner's counsel, Ihide Igaloa, confirmed that the second respondent, the People's Democratic Party, in 2016, filed a case at the Federal High Court alleging certificate forgery against the governor and tendered the court processes and the report of the APC governorship screening committee of 2019, which counsel to the first, second, and third respondents objected to reserving their reasons to the final written address. Counsel to INEC Kevin Aigbe asked the witness to confirm that 3 governorship aspirants, namely Pastor Usagide Zeyamu, Dr. Pius Dubu, and Osaro Obaze, participated in the APC primaries. The witness said the aforementioned names were those who came through the screening process. Counsel to the third respondent, Joe Odibeli, who asked the witness if he is aware that the Federal High Court never delivered any judgment in the case of forgery filed by the PDP in 2016. The witness, on one hand, said the matter got to the Supreme Court and later turned around to say judgment was not delivered. Asked if he was aware that a Federal High Court in Abuja on 9th of January 2021 ruled that Governor Obaseki did not forge his certificate, the witness said the court only said that the governor attended the University of Ibadan. Counsel to Governor Obaseki, Ken Mozia SAN, sought to know if the witness was joking when he prayed the tribunal to declare Pastor Usagide Zeyamu and the APC winner of the September 19, 2020 governorship election, when neither the APC nor Pastor Usagide Zeyamu filed a cross petition. The witness said he was not joking. He also said he does not have a document stipulating that a student who read classical studies at the University of Ibadan must have a credit in mathematics and English language subjects. Counsel to APC Osin Osayenkoy took turns to cross-examine the witness. The witness confirmed that apart from Pastor Usagide Zeyamu, Dr. Pius Dubu, and Osaro Obaze, Matthew Dwoyekeme, Chris Ogemoji, and Governor Obaseki participated in the APC governorship primary and said the governor did not appeal his disqualification by the APC screening committee. The fifth respondent also called one witness, Sonny Imotinya Ogbewe, who tendered 8 documents, which include letter of resignation of Governor Obaseki from the APC, letter of waiver, PDP timetable for the governorship election, INEF forms EC8E and 40G, amongst others.
We've concluded hearing on both sides today. The respondents concluded their cases, various cases today, and it has been adjourned to the 9th day of February.
We are saying that the governor, the present governor of Edo State, was not even qualified to participate in that election in the first place.
A total of 6 witnesses testified in the petition filed by the Action Democratic Party and its governorship candidate, Lucky Iboyin Emmanuel. The tribunal has entertained all 4 petitions before it, and what is left at this stage is for the council to file in their final written addresses. From the tribunal premises in Benin, Best Mbiere reporting.
Management and staff of independent television and radio have been commended for electing a female, Best Mbiere, as chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, ITV Radio Chapel, Benin City, to pilot the affairs of the union for the next 3 years. ITV PDP chairman of Oedo local government, Odua Ignosun, made the remark when he played host to executive of NUJ ITV Radio Chapel during a courtesy visit to his office in Benin City. Rosen Aburame has details of this and other visits by the chapel's executive.
Chairman of the NUJ ITV Radio Chapel, Comrade Best Mbiere, presented a list of the chapel's proposed projects to him and solicited for his support. On his part, the PDP chairman of Oedo local government area, Mr. Odua Ignosun, commended the initiative of the executive and promised to support.
We are thinking of putting together a recreational center with the procurement of a tennis court, a snooker board, and also having a tent. We are also thinking of doing installation of solar street lights.
We will support you to get there. Thank you very much. And to support you is not by Mickey Mouse. No. We will support you with everything we have, by the special grace of God.
The executive of the NUJ ITV Radio Chapel also paid a courtesy call on the Chief Executive Officer of J&A Oil and Gas, Jude Ari.
One of the best things I have seen this year. If this kind of project can come up from you guys, I think we will get to our destination. So I will definitely assist this project.
The leadership of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, ITV Radio Chapel, was given a warm welcome by the State Working Committee of Labour Party Edo State, led by the chairman, Comrade Kelly Ogbaloy, Secretary of the Chapel, Comrade Emmanuel Akbololoho, while presenting the list of the chapel's plans to Comrade Kelly Ogbaloy, also solicited for his support. On his part, the state chairman of Labour Party congratulated the executive for their successful election and for championing the cause of other staff and members of the chapel.
We are all thinking of getting a signpost. We want some of our staffs to have a second address. And to that extent, we are saying, oh, we want to do what's called staff training. We need your partnership.
I'm seeing you here now as a crop of very intelligent persons that have torn up themselves to take responsibility for others. There should be 1 or 2 minutes that you can retire back, as your home and have something to fall back to. So all these are real initiatives that are coming and very important and germane to the life of your people and organization.
The executive of NUJ ITV Radio Chapel intends to execute both short and long-term projects. Roslyn Evorame reporting.
The Ondo state government has said that it had started registering herdsmen in the state with the aim of ejecting unregistered herders from the state's forest reserves. The special advisor to the state governor on security, Alhaji Jimo Dojumo, disclosed this in an interview with newsmen in Akure in a meeting between the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria and the Nigerian Governors Forum. Dojumo said his office, in conjunction with the State Ministry of Agriculture and the Office of Amutekun Corps, was handling the registration of herdsmen. The special advisor, who confirmed that the herdsmen were already obeying the governor's order, said the government would be waiting for more herders to register. The federal government says it has placed an order for 10 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines, regretting that 100,000 doses it was earlier scheduled to receive this month is no longer feasible. Explained that the 100,000 doses will now be received next month, government also announced the extension of the Phase 3 of the East lockdown by 1 month. At a media interface in Abuja, Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who made this known, added that Nigerian scientists have been sequencing the variant of the COVID-19 virus. According to him, there has been reports of cases with the B117 variant strain, first reported in the United Kingdom and found in Nigeria. An early morning fire today gutted some parts of the house of popular Yoruba rights activist Sunday Adeyemo, well known as Igboho. The fire reportedly started around 3 a.m. in the building located in the Soka area of Oyo State. The source of the fire is yet to be ascertained. Igboho, who is the Akoni Odua of Yoruba land, has asked herdsmen in Iparaba local government area of Oyo State to leave within 7 days. At the expiration of the ultimatum last week, he and his followers had stormed the Fulani settlements in the ancient town to eject Seriki Fulani, Saliu Abukadri, and herdsmen accused of perpetrating crimes ranging from kidnapping, killings, rape, to invasion of farmlands with their cattle. Some houses and property in the settlements of the Fulanis were touched, but Igboho had distanced himself from the incident, saying aggrieved youths and residents of the town could be responsible for the destruction. You're watching the World News on independent television. Still to come, Indian farmers clash with police and massive protests. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Farmers have fought through barricades and tear gas to enter Delhi on India's Republic Day. Tens of thousands of them are driving into the city on tractors to protest against new market-friendly reforms. Deborah Ogbefun has details.
The Indian protesting farmer broke barricades and diverted from the route they had agreed with the police, as they say they want the government to roll back controversial farm reforms. Today's rally is the latest episode in a month-long protest, one of the longest farmers-led agitations India has ever seen. The government has offered to put the law on hold, but farmers say they will settle for nothing short of a repeal. Farmers have been on strike for 2 months at Delhi's border, demanding a rollback of the new laws. Police agreed to allow today's rally after several talks on the condition that it will not interrupt the annual Republic Day parade. The rally expected to begin from 6 entry points to Delhi, and police barricaded all of them and gave the farmers specific routes for their rally. But the farm groups at 3 different borders broke through the barricades and marched through the city on foot and in tractors, prompting the police to use tear gas in some places to disperse the protesters. The laws, which seeks to open up agriculture to the free market, sparks protest as they made their way through Parliament in September last year. The Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, and his Bharatiya Janata Party-led government defended the reforms, which the farmers likened to a death warrant that made them vulnerable to corporate companies. The protest coincided with the country's annual parade involving armed forces showcasing their latest equipment and floats from several states presenting their culture on a national stage. The parade is shorter and more muted this year due to the pandemic. Deborah Ogbefun reporting.
The European Union has warned that it will tighten exports of COVID vaccines produced in the bloc amid a row with AstraZeneca over a cut in planned supplies. Last week, AstraZeneca told the EU it was falling behind on its supply targets because of production problems. Deborah Ogbefun completes the report.
The European Union Health Commissioner Stella Kyriakides said the 27-member EU bloc would take any action required to protect its citizens. Ms. Kyriakides tweeted on Monday that talks with AstraZeneca resulted in dissatisfaction with the lack of clarity and insufficient explanation. The EU has already faced criticism for the slow rollout of vaccines, which it buys on behalf of all member states. Ms. Kyriakides said the EU had requested a detailed planning of vaccines deliveries and the next meeting with representatives of the British-Swedish company, which will hold on Wednesday. The AstraZeneca vaccine developed with Oxford University is not approved yet in the EU, but the bloc did sign a deal in August for 300 million doses with an option for 100 million more. The AstraZeneca now with the European Union could affect supplies to the UK of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, which has been developed by the US and Germany. Reports say the EU has ordered 600 million doses of the vaccine, which is already being used on patients around the bloc. Deborah Ogbefun reporting.
The U.S. House of Representatives presented a single article of impeachment to the Senate, accusing Donald Trump of inciting and storming of the Capitol, setting in motion the first ever impeachment trial of the former president. Deborah Ogbefun has more.
In a solemn procession, the 9 House impeachment managers silently walked the article through the same ornate halls of Congress overrun by former President Donald Trump supporters on January 6th and delivered it to the Senate. Representative Jimmy Raskin, who is the impeachment manager, then read out the charge against Donald Trump on the floor of the Senate, where the former president continues to enjoy significant support from Republican senators.
President Trump gravely endangered the security of the United States and its institutions of government. He threatened the integrity of the democratic system, interfered with the peaceful transition of power, and imperiled a co-equal branch of government.
The Senate trial of the 74-year-old former U.S. President Donald Trump, who was impeached by the Democratic Majority House on January 13th for an unprecedented second term, is to begin the week of February 8th. Democratic Senate Majority Leader Chuks Kumah said the 100 members of the Senate who will act as jurors will be sworn in on Tuesday, and a summons will be issued to President Donald Trump. Democrats and Republicans agreed to delay the start of the trial for 2 weeks to allow Donald Trump to prepare his defense against the charge of incitement of insurrection and for the Senate to confirm President Joe Biden's cabinet appointees. Former President Donald Trump has repeatedly and falsely claimed that he had won the election and summoned his supporters to Washington on January 6th for a rally that coincided with the certification of the results by Congress. Following a speech by Donald Trump, thousands of his supporters stormed the Capitol and fighting pitched battles with police and sending lawmakers into hiding. 5 people died